How many head shapes are there? Well, in one sense, there are 8 billion. Those 8 billion can be grouped. So let's take a look at my book, and we're going to go to the chapter on the face, in particular, page 52, head shapes. So how I've thought about head shapes is I have these 6 basic categories. We're going to talk about these a little bit. And with these 6 categories, we change each of them to create different head shapes. So we have the head length, and that's just from the top of the head to the bottom of the jaw. Then we have 3 width shapes that we need to think about. There's the forehead width, and that's sort of mid-forehead. And then we have the cheek width, and that's right across the main part of the cheek, just above the ball of the nose, the tip of the nose. And then you have your jaw width, and you want to measure the jaw basically where it starts to turn. And then we have 2 other types. There's the chin type, whether it's rounded or pointy or square, and the jaw type, whether it's rounded or square. So by changing those 6 parameters, we come up with basic head types or head shapes. We're going to go over all of them, but we'll start with the most simple. We're going to imagine the oval-shaped head as the default head. So to get from an oval to an oblong head, we're going to increase the head length. That's that blue axis, that up and down. And the opposite's true of the circle-shaped head. You're just going to decrease that axis. So you can see that the oblong and the circle are variations of the oval head. We're just changing that one aspect, that head length. Now let's look at 3 more types. Instead of starting at the oval, we're going to start at a rectangle. So what's the difference there? Well, the oval type has a rounded jawline, whereas the rectangular head has a square jawline. So we get from the rectangle head to the block head by increasing the head length. And the square head is basically the same as the circle head, except for that jaw type. We have a nice square jaw, but the head length is short in both cases. And we get from the rectangle to the block head by increasing the head length, and the square by decreasing. You can see how these things are related and how you can play with them when you're creating your own characters. Now let's look at 6 more types. These ones are a little more complicated. I'm just going to turn the page here where you can see that the main axes, the axes that are important in defining each type, are outlined. Now the heart is an exception because it is basically a V triangle, but with an important distinction. There's that widow's peak hairline. The heart-shaped head really does stand out, but it's just a V triangle. Wide forehead, narrow jaw width, and a pointed chin. Now the V triangle and the A triangle are opposites. With the V triangle, you have a wide forehead and a narrow jaw width. And the A triangle it's reversed. You have a narrow forehead and a wide jaw width. Another variation on the V triangle is the trapezoid head, which is basically a V triangle head but with a square chin type. Now the diamond is pretty complicated. You have a narrow chin width and a narrow forehead width and a narrow jaw width. Also a pointed chin. And the kite is the same as the diamond, except that you have a long head to go with it. That's probably the most complicated head type. So there are the basic types. I would say these 12 types cover most cases. There might be more, there might be 15 or 20, but these are the 12 that I've chosen to define. I hope you found value in this content. If you do, please drop me a subscribe, like, follow, however you like to support the channel. I do appreciate it. And just as a final note, if you'd like to pick up one of my books, you can find them in any of the major bookstores, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Indigo, Chapters, and so on. Also, a load of independent bookstores carry it. And thank you for all of your support. I'll see you in the next one.